Guys, it's Jacob from Stringbuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being the music journalism site, links are in the description down below. And we have a brand new song review for you today, and it's the latest track by the Kooks, and that's Be Who You Are. So I'm going to refer to the original article as I usually do for these videos, so I hope you enjoy. Now, growing up, I was a huge fan of the Kooks, since they just summed up all that was really great from that mid-2000s British indie invasion, alongside the likes of Bombay Bicycle Club, Two Door Cinema Club, even the Wombats and all those sort of bands. It was catchy, it was simple, it was memorable, and it just had a lot more realism to it than your average pop tune, I guess. Over the last few years or so, though, I've found the Kooks tracks in particular a little hit or miss, a little too poppy, I guess, but they've never really strayed from what made them popular in the first place. They still have those stylistic qualities to this day. So should we see what I thought of this brand new track? Well, I thought it was actually pretty good, and I'm glad to hear the guys keep that very original sound that I was talking about yet again this time around. I think the transitions from section to section on this track are very well executed throughout. I love the piano breakdown during that mid-eighth because it just added some different dynamics and timbres into the mix, and I also thought there were plenty of hummable melodies in this track, which I know a lot of people don't really care about all too much, but they can really take to them. That's the whole point of this style of music. It's almost that sing-alongy type style of music that they've done so well in the past, and it kind of works out this time around as well. I will say that the track is a little bit cheesy, and the vocal performance was a little functional rather than competent for me, but all in all, I had a really enjoyable time with this track, and I think any Kooks fan who has been basically disappointed like I have been over the last few years will find an equal amount of enjoyment here this time around too. Production-wise, I thought the drums were brash and bold. I thought the acoustic guitar kept its natural twang and its natural tone well throughout the runtime of this track, and nothing sounded too stripped of what makes it exciting in the first place. I did think it sounded a touch too clean in parts. That is just my personal preference, really, and that might be down to the vocals being a little too overgated every now and then, and the drums being a little too loud in the mix. Even though I said the percussion does sound nice in this mix, it did come across as a little too bassy in the snare in particular, and that just meant that the metronome of the track lost its impact in that low ground, since it had like an equalized offbeat in that snare because the snare sort of outwitted the kick drum in its bass. It was a bit of a strange choice, I guess is the best way of putting it. As for the bass, in particular the bass guitar, it covered the places it needed to cover in this mix and sounded great along the way. So all in all, it's a strong production cycle, just with a couple tweaks which are basically based around my preferences, so it might change from person to person. When it comes to the musicality of this track, I did think the vocal performance was a little weak from a diction standpoint, as the track had moments where I couldn't really make out a single word in an entire phrase or sentence. I will say that the melodies though are fun throughout this track, and although the na-nas in the chorus are a little bit cheesy, a little bit pandering I guess you could say, they did the job of adding like that sing-along aspect as I mentioned earlier. The progressions are uplifting and catchy, the bass sequences varied from simple root notes to octave decoration and much more as well. There are some exciting bass sequences in here, and I just found the track really easy to listen to, and even on the re-listens I never found it boring, I never found it tedious to re-listen to. When it comes to modern summer rock and indie music right at this moment, I often find it to be a little too serious for what it's going for, and weighted as well, when it doesn't necessarily have that substance to really hold on to in the first place, whereas this track on the other hand knew it was fun, knew it was catchy, and knew it was simple as well, and actually utilized it very well. Lyrically, the track isn't poetry, but it is uplifting, and it sends a positive message in a form that isn't cliche, but rather endearing, and I think that's really nice to listen to. It's great for a younger audience as well. So all in all, I definitely recommend this track for some quick, fun, nostalgic British indie tunage. I gave it a G rating of 7 out of 10, which is well above average. So if you like this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye-bye.